So today we are going to learn how to use the tool called a compass. You can see it on the right, not the one on the left. The one on the left is a device for cardinal directions, north, south, east, and west. But what we're using today, like you saw in the warm-up, is used to make circles or arcs. Okay, and we're going to see how to do that today in what we call constructions. And I'm going to be showing you how to do everything today actually on your paper. Okay, so it won't be a smart file. It will be live on this page. So go ahead and write your name and the period, okay, at the top of this page. You're going to need two things today, your compass and what do we call the other thing that we were using yesterday? I cannot pick it up.
A protractor.
Thank you, protractor. So this thing, now it doesn't matter if it's a protractor. All that we need to have is something that has a straight side, okay? I would not prefer a piece of paper that doesn't work that well because it can bend. Something that's going to make a straight line, okay? Now, the first blank is the title of our page right here. It is a construction. Go ahead and fill that in. Construction. Today we are talking about constructions, right? So how do you make a construction? If we keep reading, it says it's a geometric drawing that uses a limited set of tools, usually a compass, which is this, and a straight edge, which will be the straight part of this. Okay? Could you use a ruler? Sure. You could use anything that's literally straight that will help you make a straight line. Using these two tools, you can do constructions. Using a compass and a straight edge to construct a segment that is congruent to a given segment and an angle that is congruent to a given angle. So, if you can read, all of your steps for doing constructions are on this page. You could literally read it and follow the instructions. But I know it helps when I'm guiding you along, so we're going to guide along through these steps to construct a segment. So here's the first thing we're learning today, how to copy a segment. So look at step 1. What does it say? Draw a segment, and I'm going to add add a point near the end of it. Okay. So what I want you to do in this little space down here where it says do the construction, we're going to do the construction. All right. Now you can, like I said, you can write with the pencil on here. But what I said earlier, these are fragile. Just be careful that you're not pushing down too hard. You don't want to bust it up or break the tip. So go ahead and draw a long segment here. Okay? And like I added on here, you want to add a point somewhere near the end. Okay? So everybody at this point should have a line drawn with the little point near the end. Okay? Use the straight edge. Earlier someone was drawing it freehand, and that's not what I want. Okay, so step 1, draw a segment at a point. Step 2 says measure length. So here's what we're measuring. Up here, this segment right here, AB, is what we're measuring. Now, I want you to notice, on your protractor, you have inches, right? We are not, and I repeat, not measuring in inches today. We are never going to measure in inches or degrees or anything when we do constructions. The only thing we're doing is making arcs, circles, and straight lines. That's it. So again, you are not going to just say, that's about 1 inch. That's about 1 inch. Don't do it that way. Here's how you're going to do it. When it says measure, look at the picture. That's how they want you to measure. So I want you to take your compass, okay? Put the pointy part at A and the pencil at B, just like I just did. Okay? That is what we call measuring it. You're measuring it with your compass. Once you have that, that was step 2, measuring the length. I did that. Step 3 says to take that over to your new segment down here. It says literally just the word copy. And that's what we're going to do. So I'm going to take this length, put my pointy part on the dot, and make a little arc. Okay? So this arc is a point that should be just as long as AB up here is AB down here. Don't these look equal? And if you did it correctly, they will be equal. Okay? So what I want you to try is at the bottom, I want you to try to copy this AB. Again, step one, I'm going to go down here. I'm going to draw a long segment, put a point on it. All I got to do next is measure AB and mark it. And now I have my new AB. When you finish that one, you want to go to the back of this page and try numbers 1, 2, and 3. 2 and 3 might be a little challenging, but you can do it. You just add two segments together. Okay, so go ahead and try that now. I'm going to show these three fairly quickly. On number 1, CD. Once again, draw a long line, put a point. You want to measure from C to D like this, and then you just bring it down, make a little arc, and there is your new point. That would be CD. Now, what do you think we do for AB plus EF? What do y'all think we do for AB plus EF? You put one, and you put the next one right next to it. Literally, they'll be touching and sharing a point. Okay? So first, let's do AB from here to here. So I'm measuring AB, bring it down here, make my mark. So using that point, that's AB. And now I need to measure EF, which is over here off to the side. So for EF, I measure from here all the way over to here. That's EF. And I'm just going to put this right after AB, using that B point that I had right here. Sorry, it was off screen. So EF, I measured up here, bringing it down here, and I'm just putting it right after it on the end. So there's my AB plus EF. Now, any crazy ideas? What do you think 2CD means? Just put CD 2 times, yeah. You don't have to multiply any numbers or anything, you're just doing it twice. So, once again, put a long segment with a point. Okay, so I put it down here. I'm going to go up and measure CD. Once I have CD measured, don't blink because this is going to be fast. So I got my CD marked, and then my next CD at the end marked. Ta-da! So again, it was CD twice, same lengths. So each of those makes it CD and CD, right? All right, so that's how you do 2CD. All right, on the next page, we have the phrase bisect a segment. So we are going to bisect a segment. If you remember from our vocab from yesterday, bisect means to cut exactly in half. So I know that you could measure a segment, and you could be like, oh, half of this number is this number, and put a point there. But that's not a construction. Okay? To construct it, you have to follow these steps. So again, don't take the easy way out. I have to see every one of these little marks on it, or I know you didn't do it correctly. So what is step 1 right here? Draw an arc. So our examples down here on AB, our first step is to draw an arc. I need you to add this on there. So please write this right here. When it says draw an arc, I put past halfway. Very important. If you don't do it past halfway, it's not going to work. Okay? So here's what I would really do for my first step. Take my compass and put the pencil like maybe 3/4 of the way across. I'm going to use this one. So a little bit past halfway. Okay, y'all agree that's past halfway, maybe a little more, whatever. If you have it past halfway, it's going to work. And it says, step 1, draw an arc. You need to draw a big arc. So watch how I do it. Okay. Now I'm going to rotate my paper just to make it nice, and then I'll put it back. Okay. So I drew an arc. Once you draw that arc, do not change your compass. Do not make it bigger or smaller. I drew my arc starting at point A, and then step 2 says draw a second arc. That's going to be from the other side from step B, for point B, sorry. So I drew this arc. Now I'm going to go to the other side and draw the same exact arc. It needs to look just like that. I picked an arc, and then I did the same arc on the other side. Does everyone see that it makes these two circles overlap? Kind of looks like part of a Jesus fish, or maybe even part of a Venn diagram, however you want to think about it, but it needs to look just like that. If I don't see that, that's not what I'm looking for. So, the third step says to bisect, and this part's not too hard. All you're going to do is, does everyone see this intersection right here and the intersection right here? Take your straight edge and connect them with a segment. And that segment is called a bisector. It should be right. It should be in the middle. If it's not perfect, I can understand, because our compasses are kind of fragile. However, I do need to see all of these lines, all these arcs, exactly like this, okay? You don't have to put the right angle there, but it does make a perpendicular segment. So, what I want you to do is do that same thing at the bottom, right here, and then flip it over and try number 4, 5, and 6 on the other side. So go ahead and try that now, please. On number 4, 5, and 6, number 4 and 5 are normal, just make a midpoint. So I'm going to go a little bit past halfway, make my 2 arcs. Once I make my 2 arcs, I just connect them with a segment. Same thing with number 5. I go a little bit past halfway, connect my 2 new intersection points, and that is my bisector. Okay? So, that was 4 and 5. Those were just like the front page. But 6 says to do what? Divide the following segment into 4 congruent parts. Now, what does the bisector cut it into? How many parts? 2. So if I have 2 equal parts, how do I make it into 4 equal parts? Okay, I need to divide each of those 2 parts into 2 more parts. Okay, so is everyone looking up here? Everyone. Okay, so on number 6, we're going to have to do 3 different bisectors. So check this out. Let me go a little bit past halfway, make an arc, make an arc. Okay, and I'm going to connect these intersection points. Now, this is my new midpoint, right there in the middle, okay? And using that midpoint, I'm going to do the same thing between these 2 points. I'm going to make a new bisector. So a little bit past halfway, a little bit past halfway, same exact arc there. Would you look at that? That's going to cut it into quarters. So there's my first quarter, my half, and now I need a third quarter here. All right. I don't even have to change my my compass. I use the same exact measurement. If I connect that one, now I've got 4 equal segments. Okay. And I could try to verify that. That. Pretty equal. Okay. So that's number 6 on bisectors. Okay, the third one we're doing today is called copying an angle. Guess what we're going to do? Copy an angle. All right, so we are going to copy the one at the very bottom, okay, down here. But I want us to look at the steps. Step 1, draw a segment. Step 2, draw arcs. Step 3, draw more arcs. And then step 4, draw a ray. Let me break this down. First thing you want to do, draw a segment. So down here, next to this angle, everybody please use your straight edge to draw a straight segment, okay? And I'm going to put a point. If you don't put a point, you might not know what you're doing, okay? So I'm going to put a point on my segment near the end, okay?